Good morning, third grade. Our target for today is I can solve area division story problems using pictures, graphs, and equations. Let's review what we know about multiplication and division. We know that multiplication is putting together equal-sized groups or rows to find the unknown product or total. Division is the opposite. It's breaking apart a total into equal-sized groups or rows to find an unknown factor. Inverse operations are operations that undo each other. Addition and subtraction are inverse operations, and so are multiplication and division. When we're thinking about multiplication, the product is the total amount. It's the answer to a multiplication problem. A factor is one of the numbers that you multiply to find the total or product. In the example, 4 times 5 equals 20, 4 and 5 are both factors. 20 is the product. In a division problem, the dividend is the total amount in a division problem. The divisor is the amount that you're dividing by, the known factor, and the quotient is the answer to a division problem, the unknown factor. All division equations can be rewritten as multiplication equations or thought of as multiplication equations. This is very helpful to us because we know many multiplication facts, and using the multiplication facts we know helps us also know division facts. So, for example, if we know that 15 divided by, we know that 15 divided by 3 equals 5 because we know that 5 times 3 equals 15. We know that area is the amount of space covered by an object. We measure rectangular objects by multiplying length times width. Area is always measured in square units. Here you can see a rug that's 3 feet wide and 8 feet long. 3 times 8 is 24, so the area of this rug is 24 square feet. Sometimes, though, we know the total area of a rectangular object as well as either the length or the width of the object. When this happens, we're trying to find either the length or the width of the object. In this example, we know the area is 24 square feet, and the width is 3 feet wide, and the length is n feet long. To find an unknown length or width, we divide. We know that length times width equals area. The length is a factor, the width is also a factor. Area is the total amount of space, it's the product. Therefore, we also know that area, the product, could become our dividend. If we divided it by a known factor, for example, width, it would tell us the missing length because the width and length are both factors. Alternately, if we wanted to know the width, we could take the area, the product, the total, and divide it by the length, and that would tell us the width. So, when we want to find length, we divide area by the width, and if we want to find width, we divide the area by the length. To solve this particular equation, since 24 is our total area, our dividend would be 24. We would divide it by the factor we know, which is 3 feet wide, and that would tell us n, how many feet long it is. I would think about the multiplication equation, 24 equals 3 times n, or 3 times n equals 24, and I would realize that 3 times 8 equals 24. So, n equals 24. 24 divided by 3 equals 8. 8 feet long is the length of the missing side. Area division problems are problems where we're finding either the length or the width of a rectangular object. The total square units or area of the object is known. So, here you can see I've drawn a picture of a rectangular object. I've labeled it a rug with an area of 12 square feet. We can see that it's 6 feet long and we want to know how wide it is. We would write a division equation to solve this. The total area, 12 square feet, divided by the factor we know, 6 feet long, would equal the unknown factor or the unknown side length, how many feet wide it is. We would then think about the multiplication equation, 12 equals 6 times n. Well, I know 6 times 2 equals 12, so n equals 2. That missing side length is 2. Key words that we see that help us know a problem's an area problem would be area, or some kind of length like inch or foot or centimeter, the word wide, the word long, square, some kind of square unit, some kind of rectangular object, and of course, If it's an area problem where we know the total area and we're trying to find either the length or the width, it's an area division problem. Remember, third grade, the difference between an area multiplication and an area division problem is that in area division, you know the total area. So let's take a look at a couple of other examples. Here would be another area problem that's missing one of the pieces of information. That's missing one of the factors. Mr. Wensley's new flower bed takes up 12 square yards of his garden. If the flower bed is 6 yards long, how wide is it? You can see the garden bed here. It's 12 square yards, that's the area. The length of it is 6 yards long, and the width of it would be n yards wide. We don't know that. That's what we're trying to find out. To solve this, I would divide the area, which is our dividend, our total amount, divided by the factor we know, the length, and that would tell me the width, the factor I don't know. So the equation I would write would be 12 divided by 6 equals n. I could also think about this as a multiplication equation. I could think about it as the multiplication equation 12 equals 6 times n. I want you to think about this multiplication equation and determine what n equals. What does n equal in this problem? You're right. N would equal 2. So, the width of Mr. Wensley's garden is 2 yards wide because 6 times 2 equals 12. 12 divided by 6 equals 2. Let's take a look at another example. Abdallah's new desk is 2 feet wide with an area of 16 square feet. How long is Abdallah's desk? Well, we can see that we're trying to find the length of the desk, so we will divide. The area of the desk divided by the factor we know how wide it is will equal the other factor how long it is. What division equation would we use to solve this problem? I respectfully agree. We'll use the division equation 16, the total area, divided by 2, the factor we know, equals n, the missing length. We could also think about this as a multiplication equation. What multiplication equation could we think about to help us solve this problem? I respectfully agree. We could think about the equation 16 equals 2 times n. We know 16 equals 2 times n. Now we just need to think 2 times what equals 16. Think about your 2's facts. What does n equal? I respectfully agree. 2 times 8 equals 16, so n equals 8. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. That means that the length of Abdallah's desk is 8 feet long. Awesome job. We're going to take a look at 2 more problems, and we're going to write equations for each of these. Let me grab my pen. Here's the first problem. If a rug has an area of 12 square feet and it is 4 feet long, how wide is it? Well, I can see that my total area is 12 square feet, and I can also see that I know it's 4 feet long. The information I don't know is how wide it is. The square feet is the total. That's my dividend, so I know my dividend will be 12. I'm going to divide by the factor I know. I know in this case that it's 4 feet long. I don't know how wide it is, so I'm going to put n. The equation I would use to solve this is 12 square feet divided by 4 feet long equals n feet wide. Now, third grade, let's take a look at another problem. Marley has 20 square feet of fabric to make a blanket for her couch. If the blanket is 4 feet wide, how long must the blanket be? I want you to think, what equation? One piece of information in this equation is that Marley has 20 square feet of fabric. I also see that the blanket she's going to make with the fabric is 4 feet wide, and I'm trying to figure out how long it must be. What equation could we write to solve this problem? I respectfully agree. 20 is the dividend because it's the total amount, and we're dividing it by the known factor. Our divisor is 4 feet wide. That's going to equal n, how long the blanket must be. Awesome, third grade. We're going to solve an area division story problem using our problem-solving process. First, we'll read and understand the problem, then we'll plan it. We'll solve the problem and then look back and check. Here's the problem we're going to solve. Jason's dad built a new wood patio that is 56 square meters in size. If the patio is 7 meters wide, how long is it? Let's start by reading and understanding the problem. Let's think, what do we know? Well, one piece of information we know is that the patio is 56 square meters in size. That's the square meters, so I know that's the total area of the patio. The other piece of information I know is that it's 7 meters wide. I'm trying to find how long the patio is. Let's go ahead and plan and understand this problem. It's clearly an area division problem because I know the total amount, or the total area, and I'm trying to find the length. We're going to go ahead and start with the grid because it's going to be most helpful to us. We're going to graph this problem. I'm going to start by putting the information I know on the problem. I know the area is 56 square meters. That's the total area of the rectangle. So that's going to be the area of the rectangle I draw. I also know that the patio is 7 meters wide. That's one of the factors. It's one of the side lengths. The other factor I don't know. The other factor will be how long it is, but I see it says wide here. The other factor will be how long it is. So we're going to fix that. The other factor will be how long it is, and we don't know that, so I've put n. Let's go ahead and figure out what this rectangle will look like. Well, if it were 7 meters long and 1 meter, if it were 7 meters wide and 1 meter long, it would have an area of 7 meters. That's not big enough. If it were 2 meters long, then it would have an area of 14. That's still not long enough. If it were 3 meters wide, it would have an area. If it were 3 meters long, it would have an area of 21. That's still not even close to our area of 56. A length of 4 meters long would give us an area of 28. That's still not 56. If it were 5 meters long, that would give us an area of 35, but our total area should be 56 square meters. If it were 6 meters long, that would give us an area of 42 because 6 times 7 is 42. That's still not long enough for us. So we need to keep going. If it were 7 meters long and 7 meters wide, it would have an area of 49 square meters. We're getting close, but that's still not the right length. If it were an 8 meter long and 7 meter wide patio, it would have an area of 56 square meters. So that is the correct length. This is what our rectangle would look like. If all of the squares are all of the square meters, what does one square represent? I agree, it represents 1 square meter. We'll go ahead and draw a picture to match this. We'll draw a rectangle that's about the same size and shape, and we'll label what it is. It's a patio, and it's 56 square meters. We'll add the information we know, that it's 7 meters wide, and also the information that we don't know, which is how long it is. Whoops. We'll fix that. So, 3rd grade. What are we trying to find out? Well, the question's asking how long it is. So what we're trying to find out is the length of the patio. It's finally time, 3rd grade, to solve this problem with a division equation. What would the dividend be for this problem? I agree, the dividend in this problem is, we're finally ready to solve this problem, 3rd grade. What would the dividend be, or the total for this problem? I agree, 56 square meters is the dividend. And what's the divisor? What's the factor we know? I agree, we're dividing our 56 square meters by 7 meters wide. And the unknown information will be how many meters long the patio is. What multiplication equation could we think about to help us solve this problem? I agree, we would use 56 equals 7 times n. So I need you to think, 7 times what equals 56? You can also look at at the grid we drew to help you. I agree, n equals 8, because 7 times 8 equals 56, so 56 divided by 7 equals 8. I want you to think, what would be a great 3rd grade answer to the question, how long is it? A great 3rd grade answer could be, the patio is 8 meters long. Now we're ready to look back and check 3rd grade. How do we know our answer is correct? Well, we know that 56 divided by 7 equals 8, because 7 times 8 equals 56. Hot dog! Thank you for solving this area division story problem with me today, 3rd grade. Have a great day.